When I was a kid and picked up Ray Bradbury's Something Wicked This Way Comes and decided it looked interesting, I wasn't sure if it was one of the many books in the house I was allowed to read, or if it was one of the books I would later be in trouble for reading, like A Clockwork Orange. The short chapters, large font of the edition we owned, and the fact that the protagonists were children were all in support of my hope it was aimed at younger readers. But when I began to read it, I still wasn't sure. Honestly, to this day, I'm not sure what the target age range for this book is, and based on my cursory research into it, I'm not the only one who wonders. If the story defies that kind of categorization, probably that's by design, as the concept of age is very important to the book. Bradbury effortlessly represents what it's like to be young and old, and how people in each phase of life regard the other, and the sometimes seemingly insurmountable distance between them. Age and experience are intertwined, as while both protagonists are 12 years old, their experiences with life are very different. Will is said to have had only 6 years of looking at the world, while Jim has 20. I personally found the experience of reading it as a child very different from later read-throughs as an adult. Of the two protagonists on my first read-through, I identified fully with Will, the quieter and more sheltered of the boys, and shared his confusion with some of the things Jim, his more worldly best friend, understood. Things like the theater on Hickory Street and why Jim wanted to watch people through its windows. On later read-throughs, I understood more. Reading it as a child, much of the fear came from the sense of unknown dread, a slithering darkness that not even grown-ups could handle and would not even acknowledge. But now I can also see the adult side of it. The fear coming from wondering if you could stand up against something evil in ways you didn't understand, and that could tempt you to ignore that something was very wrong. The inspiration for this book can perhaps be found in Bradbury's own childhood. When he himself was 12 years old, he met a magician named Mr. Electrico at a carnival. The magician instructed Bradbury to live forever, and later, when the boy visited again, told him that he was the reincarnation of the man's best friend who had died in the First World War. Bradbury said that after this incident, he began writing and never stopped. A darker version of Mr. Electrico and other performers Bradbury met that day appear in the novel's more sinister carnival. Something Wicked This Way Comes is often regarded as a classic of the fantasy and horror genres, influencing authors such as Stephen King and Neil Gaiman. R.L. Stine, the author of the Goosebumps series, said it was the scariest book he ever read. The creeping dread of first the storm and then the carnival portrayed in Bradbury's lyrical prose is immensely effective, creating a truly unsettling atmosphere, which leaves you not with quick jolts of terror, but a lasting and uneasy fear. I highly recommend this book. For best effect, read on a windy autumn night, and keep your ears open for the faintest strains of distant calliope music.